let's say we get close and we're not able to get the job done, and I know the team's going to come back, then that's where that 5% that I keep telling everybody would pop up and say, you know what, might as well just give it one more try and go out there, because we got the same team coming back, and we almost had it.
Tony Gonzalez from late December on the show. What would cause you to not retire? That was the question. And I thought, can you walk away if you're that close? Can you walk away if you've had another Pro Bowl season? You walk right into a TV job, but Tony Gonzalez, now that 5% got a little bit bigger. Tony, kind enough to join us from Atlanta. So what was it? When did you realize that 5% was alive and kicking?
Well, I think when I got home, because when after we lost at that Georgia Dome, and I was walking out, I was done. And believe me, I was adamant. And when I went to the facility, the practice facility, the next day to do our, where we say goodbye to everybody and meet with Coach one last time, I was adamant. I gave everybody a big old hug and told them thank you for my time here. And I was walking out that door, a free man. And it's just, it started. The talk started coming back up. Obviously, my family wanted me to come, but what I needed confirmation on was my son Nico, and who doesn't live with me during the season. He lives with his mom back in California, and I wanted to spend way more time with him because I've never been home for an off season. Obviously, for a season. So once he said, "You know what, Dad, you guys came really close," it was a no-brainer for me to come back. Even though Matt and the coach Smitty and Roddy and Mr. Blank, the team owner, they all gave me calls telling me to come back. But it wasn't about them, because I wanted to come back. I wanted to be a part of that team. It was really up to my son Nico to say, you know what, Dad, if you want to go back and try it one more time, then go ahead and do it.
What if he said, stay home, Dad?
I would have been done, without a doubt. I would have been done. I told him that from the beginning of the season, that, this is it, and I'm going to be there to watch you play padded football this upcoming, during the summer, whenever they start that junior All-American stuff. I'm going to be there for him, and I plan on being there for him still. I might not be able to see the whole season, but I'm going to be there at the beginning. And so hopefully it doesn't interfere with the team as far as training camp goes. But if it does, then we're going to have to work something out, hopefully with the Falcons. Did
your son say, Dad, go back for 1 year or 2 years?
He said 1 year. Actually, he wasn't that specific, so I got to ask him. But, yeah, he meant 1 year, because that's all I'm doing. There is no more 95, 97%. I am 100% sure that this is going to be my last season out there in the NFL, obviously with the Falcons, and I'm looking forward to it because we got a good football team.
You were 13th overall pick, I think, with the Chiefs back in '97. What were they saying about you that wasn't true now that you look back on it? Because Geno Smith's going through this, Manti Te'o, every draft pick seems to be picked over. So what was your comment or profile where you went, you know what, that's total BS?
And this came from Mel Kiper Jr., and this is when I knew he didn't know what he was talking about. Because he said that every time I catch the ball, I fumble the ball way too often after I catch the ball. And I had 2 fumbles in 3 years at Cal. And I'm like, why would anybody say something like that? I just had only fumbled the ball twice. So, yeah, you know what? Everything gets thrown around during this time of year for all that draft analysis, and everybody's an expert here and there. And you know what? I mean, can the guy play? Turn on the film. Do you like what you see? Okay, draft him. It's that simple as far as I'm concerned. Don't worry about what his mental capabilities are and all this other stuff. Just turn on the film and judge what you see.
That's what I keep saying. We get caught up in a pro day and a combine. That doesn't mean anything. You look good in shorts. You don't get to play in shorts. And how many times do you run a 40-yard dash in a game? It's all about what you did in a game in a big moment, because the tape doesn't lie.
Tape doesn't lie. I don't understand, and people make a big deal about it. Guys have made careers out of it, analyzing the draft, and this guy runs the 40, and this guy does this and that, and he does vertical jump this. I don't care. You can the old expression, look like Tarzan, play like Jane. And there's plenty of guys in the NFL that do that. I mean, I don't care how much you bench press. I mean, you still can't guard me. So it's one of those things. Turn on the film, and some general managers are better at that than others.
He's Tony Gonzalez, the Atlanta Falcons tight end, joining us Dan Patrick Show. Let me go back to that final play. And at the time I said, imagine your career ending, and why Matt did not throw the ball to you in the end zone where you have a mismatch, and I could see your reaction after that. You expected the football and probably thought that you were open. What went through your mind during the play and then after it?
Well, when we came out and lined up, I was going to run a slant route, and they went cover 2. That means that safety was over, and we were in the red zone area, so he was down. He wasn't a traditional cover 2 because he didn't have to be because the end zone's right there. And looking back at it, when I lined up, I said to myself, Matt's not going to throw me the ball because there's no way Vernon Golson's all-pro safety he's not going to back up. He's going to sit right there, and he probably expects Matt to throw me the ball. But sure enough, he backed up on that snap, and that's when I expected the ball. But Matt doesn't see that right away. So I don't blame Matt at all for not throwing me the ball because, like I said, pre-snap read, it didn't look like I was going to be open. But that's football. But also you have to understand that we have really good players on this team. Other Pro Bowl-type players, Roddy White, Julio Jones, and Harry Douglas is an unbelievable slot receiver. So when he chooses to go the other way, I don't get upset. Now, you can look back in hindsight and say, man, you're wide open. But that position is hard. That quarterback position is hard. I talked to Matt extensively about that play. Some things broke down that I'm not even going to talk about. But, that's stuff that we got to work on. And hopefully next time, if we're in that same position, we'll make that play. And I'm confident. I know we'll make that play next time.
You played college hoops. What'd you think of the Rutgers videotape?
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad he got fired. Obviously, he needed to get fired. That holds no place in college, in any sport. I mean, to demean somebody like that, throwing the ball at him, hurling slurs at him like that, putting hands on him, I feel bad for those kids because obviously they felt helpless. Because I think back, okay, if that happened to me, I'd pick that ball up and throw it right back at that coach or worse, But obviously these kids felt helpless being in that situation. I'm glad justice came out, and whoever leaked those tapes, good job for you, and I applaud you. But there's no way that this man should ever coach ever again. I don't care.
But in football, you can probably get away with it a little bit more because you got padding on. If I'm grabbing your face mask, if I'm roughing you up a little bit like that, does it happen more in football than we realize?
Not anymore. What those days are over. Those tough guy coaches mentality, grabbing players, demeaning players. You could still yell at them, and there's nothing wrong with that either. I don't care if I screw up or whatever, and you yell at me passionately, maybe with a couple cuss words. That's fine with me. I don't care. But I mean, when you start to get physical and put hands on people, or start, demeaning people in a. Remember, this is a big boys game too, so I don't want to sound like I'm whining. I mean, it happens every once in a while, but at the same, there's a line. And that line was clearly over. He stepped over that line clearly, without question, and you just can't do that. And it has no place in sports as far as I'm concerned.
You had Mark Cuban saying that he would draft Brittney Griner, the Baylor basketball player. What do you think of that?
I think that speaks volumes about her ability and how good she is. But that wouldn't work. I don't. If we're talking literally here, I know Mark is probably having some fun with that. But yeah, can she play in the NBA? No, not at all. I don't think so. She's a good player. She's probably the best player out there in all of basketball, and she will be in the WNBA. And she probably wants to do that. She'd rather go to the WNBA because she's playing with her peers, and she's going to dominate for a long time.
We had Brian Banks on yesterday. Have you had a chance to talk to this guy?
No, I have not.
It's an unbelievable story. I mean, Tony, he went to prison. He was wrongfully accused of rape, and he went to prison for over 5 years, and then on house arrest wearing an ankle bracelet. And then finally this woman confessed that she made it up. He's going to be perhaps your teammate this year. The poise, the restraint, the calmness in his voice was remarkable yesterday when we talked to him at this time.
I feel for him. And I haven't met him, and I haven't seen any interviews yet. I've just heard the story.
He's impressive. He's impressive, man. I hope he makes the team just for what he's gone through. And he was a talented. He was going to USC. He had committed to USC early as a 16-year-old, and then he went to prison. So pretty amazing story. And I'm glad that he's getting a chance, and I hope he gets a chance to stick with you guys.
yeah, I can't wait to meet him too, and hopefully he does get a chance. Hopefully he can help us.
What are you doing in Atlanta, by the way?
I am out here with Clearman Scout Bears. I teamed up with them. And everybody strives to be the perfect man, and it starts with flake-free hair. So I teamed up with them, and they got awesome products. They smell great. 2-in-1 formulas. Cool Mint is my favorite one, but you can check out more of my tips on how to strive to be the perfect man on Clearman Scalp Therapy on Facebook.
Is there a website or just Facebook?
That's where you check it out. You see all the tips that I give out there, and I'm sure people will get a kick out of it.
All right, no percentages next season, all right? It's 100% you're one and done, right?
100%, Mr. Dan. Absolutely. I am. I've had my fill with football, and I'm looking forward to playing this year and then going on to the next chapter of life, whatever that holds.
Well, you'll be in broadcasting, and if you win the Super Bowl, I would imagine the Super Bowl ring goes to Nico.
Absolutely.
Hey, great to visit with you, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, Tony Gonzalez, Falcons tight end. Hey, you just look at the numbers. Just crazy numbers. I mean, last year he had 93 catches. He's got 1,242 receptions. I mean, you take Jerry Rice out of the equation, Tony Gonzalez is the leading receiver in NFL history.